This presentation will provide an overview of the information needed to understand RFM's complaints handling policy. RFM has developed and maintains a formal system for dispute resolution to meet its obligations to members and other interested parties and to comply with regulatory requirements. As an entity regulated by ASIC, RFM must be a member of an external dispute resolution (EDR) service and have a process in place for members to make a complaint. The EDR service that RFM is a member of is the Australian Financial Complaints Authority, AFCA. RFM is committed to efficient and fair resolution of complaints and recognises the need to be fair to both the complainant and to the organisation or person against whom the complaint is made. The complaints handling policy provides a structure for efficient and fair resolution of complaints and applies to RFM and its subsidiaries, which are managed by RFM and its employees. A complaint means an expression of dissatisfaction made to RFM relating to its products, services, or the complaints handling process itself. There is no prescribed way of making a complaint. A complaint can be made by any reasonable means, including by email, by telephone, in writing, in person, and via social media channels. Investor Services will take and handle customer complaints in the first instance. The complaints handling policy is overseen by the complaints manager. This role is currently held by the company secretary. The complaints manager is appointed by RFM and has overall responsibility for monitoring the level and type of complaints received, ongoing staff training, responding to complaints where the respective staff member is unable to resolve the complaint to the complainant's satisfaction, and providing regular reporting to the board. All complaints must be referred to the complaints manager, who is required to record the complaint in the complaints register via RFM's internal compliance system, acknowledge receipt of the complaint in accordance with the complaints handling policy, investigate the complaint either personally or refer the investigation to a staff member who has had appropriate training in dispute resolution and has not previously had contact with the complainant. And where the complaints manager is not investigating and resolving the complaint, they must supervise the ongoing investigation and resolution of the complaint. Where a complaint is received verbally, the staff member receiving the complaint should record the particulars of the complainant, record the relevant facts relating to the complaint. If not received by the complaints manager, advise the complainant that the complaint will be referred to the complaints manager, and advise the complainant that they will receive acknowledgement of their complaint from the complaints manager within 24 hours. The staff member receiving a verbal complaint should not attempt to resolve the complaint over the telephone, be defensive, argumentative, derogatory, or offensive, discuss with the complainant any matter which would be contradictory to the complaints handling policy, including discussing confidential information, and admit liability as this may void RFM's professional indemnity insurance policy. RFM will ensure a written response is sent to the complainant within 24 hours from receipt of the complaint. The acknowledgement must be in writing and may be sent to the complainant by either written letter or email. The written notification must contain acknowledgement that the complaint has been received, an internal dispute resolution (IDR) response based on the issues raised by the complainant. If a resolution cannot be provided, a description of the process which the complaint will then be subject to, including further notifications and relevant timeframes for resolution of the complaint. The relevant contact details of the complaints manager, the relevant contact details of the person or persons investigating the complaint. For complaints relating to privacy issues, acknowledgement that the complainant's details and the complaint will be dealt with confidentially and only the person specified in the acknowledgement will have access to such information. Contact details for the Office of the Australian Information Commissioner must be provided. An undertaking that no fee will be charged for the resolution of the complaint, any remedies that may be available to the complainant, and a reference to RFM's EDR service, and that the complainant may refer the dispute to this service at any time if they are not satisfied that it is being dealt with appropriately. Contact details for RFM's EDR service, AFCA, must be provided. Remedies offered to complainants will reflect legal obligations, good industry practice, and what is fair and reasonable in the circumstances. Generally, remedies may be financial, determined by RFM and its directors, or non-financial in nature, such as provision of information, a referral, assistance, or an apology. A complaint closed within 5 business days of receipt does not need to provide an IDR response to the complainant, providing the complainant has confirmed their satisfaction with the result and the complainant has not requested a written response. Throughout the resolution process, the confidentiality of all persons must be maintained, and only the complaints manager, the managing director, senior managers, the compliance department, and the board should have access to confidential information. Once a resolution is reached, the complaints manager should, in writing, notify the complainant of the result of the complaint, which as a minimum should include the details of the resolution of the complaint, the reasons for the decision made, any remedies or redress available to the complainant, and a referral to RFM's EDR service should the complainant be unsatisfied with the resolution of the complaint. Prepare a final report to be recorded in the complaints register. Notify the relevant department or division of the result of the complaint and suggest any action that can or should be taken to avoid similar complaints in the future. And notify the Managing Director or Chief Operating Officer of the complaint's resolution or the outcome. Complaints received by RFM via telephone will be acknowledged immediately, and via email, letter, or social media correspondence, confirmation of receipt or response will be sent within 24 hours. Where a more detailed response is required that cannot be provided within the timeframes above, RFM will keep the complainant up to date with an expected timeframe for a response, ensuring the timeframe is kept to a minimum, but no later than the maximum period of 30 calendar days. The 2007 MacGrove project requires a response within 21 calendar days of receiving a complaint. For further reference, additional detail, definitions, and specimen form letters for acknowledging a complaint and communicating the outcome or resolution of the complaint, please refer to the Complaints Handling Policy. If you have any questions, please contact the Compliance Department. This concludes the Complaints Handling Policy training module.